Hello, everyone. My name is Danny,
And I'm Taylor.
and we are going to talk about a really huge topic for our creative writing class.
We're going to talk to you about Ebola.
And if you guys don't know what Ebola is, this is what it is.
Ebola, an infectious disease that spreads through contact with bodily fluids, including saliva and sweat, has an extremely high fatality rate and is currently wreaking havoc in West Africa. The recent outbreak, which is the largest of all time, really took hold in March of 2014 in Guinea. It quickly spread to Liberia and Sierra Leone, with cases also found in Senegal, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Nigeria.
All right, so West Africa has the highest concentration of cases, although the disease has been confirmed in 7 countries around the world.
Yes, and the 7 countries consist of Guinea, Liberia, Mali, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, including Spain, the United States, and other countries around the European continent.
The highest death rate is 2,413 in Liberia, and they have 6,535 cases. So, but it's currently making its way into the United States.
Yeah, so in the United States there are only 4 cases with 1 death.
2 of the infections originated in the United States, 1 in Liberia and 1 in Guinea.
Yep. Now here are the symptoms of Ebola, and the symptoms vary based on which strand of Ebola you get because there are different versions of Ebola. So these symptoms can include fever, severe headache, muscle pain, weakness, fatigue, diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and unexplained hemorrhaging. And these are very a couple of these are very similar to flu-like symptoms.
If you're a United States resident and you're experiencing flu-like symptoms, don't freak out because it might not be Ebola. It might just be seasonal. If you're coughing, don't freak out.
Yeah, and it's the flu season now, so people are gonna be rushing to the hospital because they think that they have Ebola. But in all reality, it's really hard to catch Ebola here in the United States because we're in a developed country. It's different while you're in a developing country like Africa, continent like Africa, because they don't have the necessities that we have, all the medical care and all of the space that we have to care for people who are sick.
Also to catch Ebola, it's not a casual.
It's not through casual contact.
Therefore, the risk of an outbreak in the U.S. is very low.
Yeah.
We know how to stop Ebola's further spread, though, through case findings, isolation of ill people, and contacting people exposed to the ill person. So definitely isolating is
Through quarantine and containing the virus.
basically just taking precaution of
Yeah.
what's going on.
Now now in West Africa there is a lot of corruption, and a lot of the West Africans that live there, they say that Ebola is just a creation that the government made up because they feel like they want to suck the money out of the residents that live there. And that's not the case. In West Africa or in Africa in general, there are many different diseases that are out there, like cholera and malaria, rabies. All of these show similar symptoms to Ebola, and a lot of the West Africans don't believe that Ebola exists because of the corruption.
Even Obama acknowledges that Ebola is real.
It's a very real thing, and it's reaching a pandemic. This is what he says.
As we gather here today, the people of Liberia are in crisis. The Ebola virus is spreading at alarming speed. This epidemic could kill hundreds of thousands of people in the coming months.
All right, we have a guest here today, and his name is Ryan, and we're going to talk to him a little about what he thinks about it.
So, Ryan, what do you know about Ebola right now?
Well, basically all I know is that it's a really serious. I don't know if it's a disease or a virus. Oh, it's a virus, right?
Yeah.
It's a really
It's both. It's a disease and a virus.
Okay, it's a really serious virus that supposedly started in Western Africa, and has now made its way to the country, and it's spreading relatively fast. and has a lot of people scared.
All right.
So
So what rumors things you've heard about Ebola that people are being like acting frantic about, you know?
well, I'm not particularly familiar with any of the symptoms that Ebola has, but I know that I'm pretty sure that like it first came to this country somebody in Atlanta, I believe, and then it spread to, I believe it was Texas, and now it's
Yeah, it's
supposedly in New York, Jersey, everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
um well, the symptoms are like they're really similar to the flu. You can tell them.
All right, the symptoms are like pretty common actually, which is pretty scary. They're fever and muscle pains and headaches and fatigue and vomiting. So that's like the scariest part about it.
Like how do you feel about those very flu-like symptoms?
Well, since they can be associated with the flu, I feel like it's very scary because one cannot really determine
Yeah.
whether it is the flu or if it is Ebola. Like, there's a lot of people going
What's
around.
the difference, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's like a lot of people going around. Like, you can hear somebody cough and automatically
Yeah,
assume they
that's
have
exactly what we were
Ebola.
saying.
Yeah. So I have one last question for you, and then I'll let you go. How do you feel about Ebola being in America? Do you think it's gonna spread
Are you
rapidly?
nervous?
Are you nervous about? You know how there was an outbreak here in Newark, New Jersey, and then they transferred the guy to New York. So how do you feel about it being in New Jersey now? You know, like, are
Close
you
to
worried
home.
about it? You know?
Well, I feel like it has a lot of people on edge, especially myself in some type of way, because I don't know, like, I don't know how to like protect myself from that. Like, it's
Yeah.
really serious, and there's not like a lot of information out there on it. I guess since it's a relatively new
Topic.
Yeah. And
Topic.
what makes it even more scary is that you don't really start feeling symptoms.
Until literally maybe
Yeah, until 3
Two-
weeks of being exposed.
2 to 21 days.
Yeah, so
Wow.
and it's really weird. But on the plus side, you really can't get Ebola unless the person who has it is having the symptoms. So
Okay.
and he has to be like touching you with bodily fluids like sweat, saliva, shit like that, and blood.
Okay.
Really serious contact, not casual.
Yeah.
So,
So all right, thank you very much.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
So we touched earlier on the preventative measures we should take to prevent Ebola from spreading.
aside from educating people,
Yeah.
we need to educate people on practicing careful hygiene, especially washing your hands with soap and water or alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and avoiding contact with blood and body fluids.
Also, we should not handle items that may have come in contact with any infected person's blood or body fluids, such as clothes, bedding, needles, and medical equipment.
If this isn't normal, or maybe it is, but avoid contact with bats and non-human primates or blood fluids and raw meat. I'm not quite sure how many people deal with bats daily, but just kind of stay away.
Yeah. Now, let's say you do get Ebola, someone does get Ebola, someone that you know, you should not do not touch each other, do not have any physical contact with that person. Try to limit very close conversations, because if any of their saliva gets onto your skin
or sweat,
or sweat, you're gonna
any
get it.
body fluids at all.
Now, there are some treatment measures, but there is no FDA approved one, you know? So,
The symptoms of Ebola are basically treated as they appear. So,
Yeah.
we talked about the fever and the headache. So, the following basic interventions, when used early, can definitely significantly improve the chances of survival.
Yes. And in West Africa, there have been people who have survived the Ebola virus by just taking antibiotics and resting and replenishing all their electrolytes and drinking a lot of fluids and refueling themselves and keeping their energy by eating a lot of food. So there are natural ways to do it, but you know, it's different.
Ebola as a whole, there are experimental vaccines being tested, and they are under development, but they haven't been completely tested for safety or effectiveness. So, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, there's a vaccine called ZMapp, and ZMapp comes from the tobacco plant. Now, the tobacco plant is a special type of plant. It turns yellow when it's infected with the Ebola virus. Now, when the leaves turn yellow, they extract that and they turn it into a serum, and then they inject it into the Ebola patients. There is a 50% chance that it'll work, and there's a 50% chance that you'll die from it. So that is an experimental drug that doctors are trying to implement to some hospitals. So who knows? Maybe they're gonna work on it and then make it better and allow it for commercial use.
All right. I think we're done for now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So that's a wrap. I hope you guys got a lot of information about
Hope
Ebola.
we educated you a little bit more on it.
And we eliminated a lot of the fears and the rumors that spread really fast. Just like one of the rumors that I think most of us have seen on Facebook.
Have you seen the picture?
Yeah,
of the guy.
Yeah, the picture of that guy with all these face ulcers and bumps all over his face, and they said that he rose from the dead. The guy didn't rise from the dead. That was a rumor. There's no way.
There's
Ebola,
no zombies.
Yeah,
it's not a zombie apocalypse.
Ebola doesn't give you any zombie. No. The only thing that was close that came about that almost had people worried about a zombie apocalypse was the bath salts incident. And even that was a fluke because the guy wasn't even on bath salts when that happened. So, again, we're getting off on a tangent right now, but I hope...
Alright, so now you guys have the real facts. Put aside all those rumors.
Yeah, and all we can do is wait and see what else happens and see if this Ebola crisis can, subside. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Yep, bye.